none of us really know. None of us really know.
I know.
No, I know. Perfect timing, Keith.
Keith, what's up?
Your favorite movie of all time. F9.
Oh, good.
How is there any other choice than Remember the Titans being number one?
I'm curious.
I'm spoiling mine, but
Well, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that's a good
I'm
question,
not even
Brian.
done talking.
you shouldn't be talking at this point.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Apocaflix Movies and Apocaflix. Now, I am still not used to that StreamYard fade. It is a brand new thing on this feature, and I'm very, very excited about it. No, it is not a two-man show tonight. Two gentlemen will be joining us very, very soon. One of them is actually watching the Spider-Verse trailer right now to prepare for our conversation. I am Jake Berlin, your host for the evening. As you can see, with me currently is Mr. Brian Avalosino, Beanie Brian, as we are calling him tonight.
Literally,
how you
just
doing,
made
man?
Up on the spot.
How you doing?
Literally was just made up on the spot.
No, I've been calling you that all night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm good. I'm freaking hungry.
Go make some mini tacos.
No, I'm eating Trader Joe's almond butter pretzel.
Love it. Trader Joe's for the win. Trader Joe's for the win. John Pedro Gio will be here. He is the one who's currently watching the Spider-Verse trailer to prepare for that little trailer reaction that we're going to have here in just a second. Yeah, I mean, Brian, you're a couple days away from Christmas break, man. It's got to feel good, right?
Yes. The kids are driving me nuts. They're like, well, because I switch. So, like, after this week,
You
I'm
have
done
different
with
kids.
8th grade and I go to 7th grade. So they're just buck wild now. There's like, doesn't matter. See ya in 3 days. So, like, my best kids are like my worst kids right now. And the bad kids aren't even showing up. So it's like, that's a plus. And so it's chaos. It is absolute chaos.
Sounds fun. It's the one thing I don't miss about not becoming a teacher, if I'm being honest.
What, kids?
Dealing with all the different personalities.
In middle school, personalities changed by the heartbeat. So, yeah, it's wild. And trying to grade everything by the end of the week. And it's lots of going on. Hi, Gio.
He's back, and as well as making his late as usual entrance, Mr. Jacob Bartley.
Late as usual. I'm never late. Get out of here with that.
I mean,
I'm like 95% on time. Come on.
we'll see. I'll have to go back and check the tapes. Gio, how you doing, man? How's it's Tuesday, right? Everything you doing good?
Yep, doing good. Busy as always. Yes, John Pedro, you can't have a DC show without Gio. Damn right. You can have the theatrical versions, but with me, it's Snyder Cut. So I don't know. I don't even know what that means. But I'm here.
That made no sense.
I don't know. I'm just. I already know what the conversations are going to be going ahead, and
what are you talking about? We're going to have a nice, light, comfortable conversation.
You changed your background. You're at a different angle. I just noticed it.
You clearly weren't paying attention to our Discord conversation yesterday.
I have not been able to pay attention to anything.
Gio and I literally had a conversation. I told him, I said, best background you've ever had so far. You better keep it.
Yeah.
Looks
and
good.
how long have I had the other angle? And you just
well, you know why it's the best one, Gio? Because you're not completely on the left-hand side of the camera. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that angle is intentional of I have some sort of graphic if you guys have seen my channel or something like. So
no, dude, I think if you were to leave it exactly where it was and you put a poster on the other side and you sit right in the middle of the two of them, golden.
Kind of reminds me of like Roka's setup, where it's like right there and stuff going around.
This is why they call me producer Jake, guys.
Well, Jake, you need to come help me out, man. I feel short, but it's weird. It's because of the way my camera's set up, the height of my camera.
We just need to do a little zoom in effect on you. That's all.
Yeah,
but no,
true.
Jacob, I mean, how you doing, man? It's Tuesday. You are officially out of our fantasy football playoffs. How you doing?
You had to bring that up. Yes, the league I play in with Jake.
I forgot to check.
No, not the league you play in, the league that you commission.
Yes, I'm co-commissioner, and I did not make the playoffs. That sucks. I had a chance. I had a very small chance. I needed Gio to lose, and I had to win. But what happens? Ramondre Stevenson goes out. But Gio won anyway. He's never had a shot, but it's all good. I'll be back next year. But other than that, doing good, man. It's that time of the year. All the kids start getting sick, so I'm just trying to not get sick. That's my goal.
You should see
now.
Jacob. The kids are like here. He like stands and watches them over here.
Oh, I know. We've known Jacob for a very long time, and for the longest time, we've always known Jacob as he's not to this extent, but he's kind of a germ freak, right?
Yeah,
he likes to be clean,
Kind
and
of
that's
a germ.
there's not anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that, and so I imagine Jacob in a classroom putting all the desks as far back as possible, but he's in the top right-hand corner. That's what I kind of picture.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, if I were to set up my own classroom, which I will one day, that's exactly how it would be. My desk is gonna have the clear visor.
Oh
in front
my
of it.
god!
I'm just
The thing
kidding.
that
I'm
doesn't
just
work.
kidding.
The thing that doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, just kidding. But yeah, keep your distance. All right.
I missed
It's that time of year.
Sorry.
Huh?
I missed playoffs by the point.
I think Brian just found out. Like he forgot about it and then went to go check. And
I
just found
remembered.
out.
I checked one, but I forgot about the other one. And when you said that, I went, "Oh shit! I never checked the other one," and I missed.
I
it.
made both. I made both, so I'm excited. I'm still on the run for the money.
4 for 4, baby.
Wow, look at you. That's because you actually cared this year about it.
Okay, here's the question I have. Did
Last year you totally just like threw it out the window.
I tanked and I gave the co-commissioner of that or whoever it gave the ingredients. So let's see what he does.
So now to answer my question, Jacob, did Gabe make the playoffs?
Nope.
No, actually.
So the first-
Both commissioners lost. Both guys who run a fantasy football podcast lost.
Yes, we did. But I hope Shaw's watching because Shaw, what's up, man? Who's won 3 times in your daily fantasy contest on FanDuel? I have. I don't think anybody else has won 3 times.
Definitely
I have.
freaking rigged, but
But
whatever.
I would have much rather made the playoffs in that league, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll see how that one shakes out. But yes, look, movies, guys. We are here because of movies, right? There's a lot of things coming our way. Movies and television, obviously. We have 2 topics to discuss tonight. We have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We have a first official trailer. Well, technically a second official trailer. The first one was just a teaser. But this one kind of gave us a real good inside look at what this movie is going to be about, bringing us back with Miles and Gwen in the larger Spider-Verse. And then we're going to be discussing everything that happened with DC and that Hollywood Reporter article, or both of them rather, last week that covered everything from Wonder Woman to Superman to a possibility of a Batman Beyond. We're going to be getting into all of that here very, very soon. But as always, we're going to be starting the show with a little segment we like to call the Movie Watching Challenge. Each week, we challenge each other to watch brand new movies that we've never seen before. It can be a movie from last week. It can be a movie from 40 years ago. And as it has been the last couple of months here, every other week is Brian.
Yeah.
Brian is challenged to watch a film because his list is just the biggest list we've ever seen. And he watched Birdman last week. And he will be giving his thoughts on a separate review, which is coming out here very, very soon. But Brian, I want you to tease that video for us here. Your 1-sentence elevator pitch. What did you think about Birdman?
It's interesting.
Interesting's
It
good.
is interesting. Yeah.
Interesting's good.
He's not
I
lying.
don't know. That scares me. That scares me.
Jeez.
That scares me. I feel like it's just very hard to please Brian. It either has to be a trashy rom-com or a superhero movie.
That is not true. I loved Nightcrawler.
Okay, fair enough.
But like we hit like 1 out of 10, Brian. So
Yeah,
to
that's
Jake's
fair.
point, it's very hard.
That is
Yeah.
You guys do hit like 1 out of 10.
Like we gave you Zodiac and you came back and said like, oh yeah, whatever. And we're like, Zodiac's considered one of like Fincher's best, if not the best.
The first hour of Zodiac was fantastic, and then I went to sleep.
My point exactly.
Not literally, but it was just boring.
All right, well let's get into the second
Well-
portion of all this. Brian gets to challenge someone else on the panel. The floor is his. Brian, who are you challenging, and what are you challenging them to?
Well, let me actually get the wheel ready.
As my dogs are going crazy in the background, I apologize, guys.
All right. I went with a rather interesting list in this case. But I went with Mr. Bartley on this one.
Nice.
Okay.
He has more time since he missed fantasy football playoffs, you know.
Very true. Very
Well,
true.
I also
Yeah.
figured you are. I know your work schedule, and it's going to start being a little light after this week. So,
Hey, I'm doing intercession, by the way. So,
oh,
but it's okay. It's only 4 days next week.
Got it. So here is your wheel. And your wheel consists of American Psycho,
okay.
Minority Report, Queen of the Damned, and As Good as It Gets.
Awesome.
It's a rambunctious group right there.
Yeah.
It's a very random group.
I always pick random.
I actually really want to watch all of these. I didn't know this when I was younger, but all right, it's not a sequel to what is the vampire movie that I watched recently?
Interview with the Vampire?
So
Yeah.
Queen of the Damned is not a sequel to Interview with the Vampire, but it's a part of the same novel series, which they just made another movie from that series later on. So that's why I added that movie to the list, because I'm interested in it. Never seen it before. Stars Aaliyah, by the way. And all the rest of them, there's one I really want, but I'll take any of them.
I want you to get American Psycho.
I really want As Good as It Gets because it's the
really
one Jack Nicholson movie that
He's a Jack Nicholson fanatic.
that I have
Hi,
not.
Brian.
Jake
Yeah.
or Gio.
Gio recommended it. Yeah.
when we were trying to figure out I was trying to figure out what the last one should be, and that's the last one we
Yeah, so I hope it's that, but I'm cool with either one. I'm also cool with an episode of Apocaflix now, so
picked. There we
that
go.
works too.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Ooh, wild.
Either way,
Wild.
I'm watching As Good as It Gets.
Okay.
There we go.
Nice.
You know, I was worried at first when it was gonna pass the yellow, but I was like, wait a minute. As long as it lands on the wild, I get to choose. So that's how it works, right? I get to choose.
Yep,
Yeah,
you get
that
to
is
pick.
how it
So
works.
you're gonna
So
watch As Good as
looks
It
like
Gets.
I'm watching As Good as It Gets. I hope it's not like $5.99 on Prime, but it probably is.
It's worth it.
Yes, it
Worth
is.
it.
I don't mind paying. It's worth
let me
paying.
check.
I know. I was just typing it in too.
But yeah, I can't wait. I mean, like I've seen most of Jack Nicholson's notable movies, but that's the one I have not seen yet. I believe he won an Oscar for it, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, looking forward to it.
I've never seen it personally, so maybe I'll check it out this week.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Perfect. There we go. In the era where we
yep.
have all
You
the
are
streaming
correct.
services. I guess we can
All
find it
right.
somewhere.
Jacob will be watching and reviewing As Good as It Gets next week. TBD on whether or not Brian's on that review because he has no idea what this movie is.
Got it.
It might be Jacob and
I
someone
guess
else.
there would be no
Someone else.
point for Brian to get on, right?
If
'Cause he'd be like,
it,
so what'd you think?
Jacob, if I have time to watch it, I will do the review with you.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We'll talk about it,
That'd
and
be
that
cool.
that can go for anybody else on the channel as well. Let's go ahead and move the show
I don't
along.
have to do it every single week.
Yeah, I mean it's good for you to get a breather, Brian.
Oh, really? Because I'm curious if I get challenged next week.
Yeah, you will.
I didn't think about that.
You're not
If-
working. You're not working. So
No.
If Brian gets challenged
Oh.
every other turn, he's on every video.
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Think
on every
about
video.
that.
Come on,
That's
Brian.
funny.
I text Jake that, and he goes, "Nice."
Good.
Well, to move the show along, let's go ahead and get into the first topic of the night, and that is the brand new look at Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel of Into the Spider-Verse, the very, very, very loved animated film from just a few years ago that came out as one of the most acclaimed animated films we've had in recent memory. It's obviously a big time movie involving a bunch of different Spider-Men, but this one takes it to a whole new level. If you did not see, Jacob did a reaction to that trailer earlier today. Jacob, thank you so much for that. So I'm gonna go to these guys first, and then you can just chime your way into the conversation. I will as well. Gio, you just watched it. I want to get your opinion. You're fresh, first time watching this trailer. Your immediate reaction, go.
Wow. I mean, this trailer already just reminded me of how much heart that first movie had. You know, between Miles and his family, his uncle, and this one, he's talking to it's his mother, right? It's been a few years since I've seen the last one. But then as it's going, you know, you start to get a sense of, you know, what's in store for Miles and all the action, and then all of a sudden it's like Spider-Mania. I mean, my God, there are so many Spider-Men and Spider-Women and Spider creatures and all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I've only seen this trailer once. I need to watch it again and pause and like see if I can point out how many Spider-Man I recognize. They're clearly going even bigger this time. And I'm here for it. I mean, I didn't really need a trailer, honestly. Like, this movie had me the moment it was announced. Not just one, but 2 follow-ups. So very much excited about that. And I don't know what it is about Sony. Like, as far as the Spider-Man universe goes, live action, they can't figure it out, but they knocked it out of the park so far with this animated Spider-Man movies that we're getting franchise. So love it.
Mr. Brian?
Yeah, it's, I mean, basically same as Gio. I could have not seen anything and still gone and seen it the night it comes out. It's so funny to me because I remember when the first one came out. Before that, like in the marketing, I was like, looks so stupid. Like it's so dumb. It looks unfinished and hating on this movie. And I literally remember going and seeing it by myself and walking out going like, holy crap, that was like the best Spider-Man movie. And just like being blown away by it. And I mean, it just looks fantastic. I did not expect like the amount of spider people like that they're clearly throwing in. I mean, they're literally even making new ones just for this movie. Like I already saw Spider India, I think, was one that they put in there that they created for this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're literally, I mean, it's wild. And it's really cool because like I one of my favorite things is for new movies, I'll show it in class, the trailers, and the kids get like mixed reactions over it. They freaked out when I told them that this trailer dropped. Like, what were the 3 that dropped? It was Indiana Jones, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Transformers. The other 3, they gave 2 craps about. Like, they're like, whatever. They lost their minds when this one dropped. The Miles Morales Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man. Like, they were freaking out. And it's cool because it's like that you don't like see that with a lot of the kids. So it's like I love it. And it's an animated too. Like at this age, animated, they're like, oh, animated, that's for little baby kids and da, 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 da. And they are like, they were pissed when they saw it released in June. They were like, 6 months? Wait, 6 months?
Wow.
So yeah, it makes me like happy seeing like them like love something so much, and it's just this animated, and of course they're already like Miles's mom's a baddie.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but I'm excited. I what can you say? It looks great. Geo hit it right in the head. How does this company drop the bag so hard on live action, but their animated is probably one of the best we've ever seen? Like, I just don't get it. So, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, I gave most of my thoughts in the trailer action, but I've been thinking about it all day. The trailer surprised me, to be honest, because like I feel like a lot of trailers are a little formulaic, and they kind of they have the same setup and the same endings and type of thing. And while this trailer had like, the first half of it was kind of recapping the first movie a little bit, but then once they got into the new footage, I was like, oh my goodness, and I didn't know where to look on the screen. I was like, there's so much going on, and I was like, this is freaking awesome. And I don't know what's going on or what causes this, but it looks like wherever they were when we saw the spider people or the spider creatures, whatever you want to call them,
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, and they all start going after him. I'm like, what is going on? And it was exciting. So I was already super excited. This trailer elevated that, like, honestly. So
I saw
can't wait.
When I saw it, the hub where they all seem to be chilling gave me like Wreck-It Ralph vibes. You know how they all go into the
It's a good
like
comparison.
Subway thing. Yeah,
it's very interesting because the trailer doesn't give off nearly as much as what the movie is actually going to be about. If you've paid attention to like when news articles come out or when people talk about this movie, they did not show the villain in this trailer. The villain is the character known as the Spot. And we saw him in the teaser trailer that we saw months back, but he was not in this trailer, which leads me to believe that like this is very early on in the movie and something that can happen very quickly. And then we get to it a whole nother portion of the movie, because we know that Miguel O'Hara, I believe is his name, Spider-Man 2099, is a big part of this movie, but they never said that any of the other Spider-Men are. It obviously looks like Spider-Woman is, which I'm so happy about, because I've been calling for a Spider-Woman project, story, whatever, for a very, very long time. And I'm happy to see that she is in this movie for what seems like a pretty big portion. I'm very intrigued. I love the idea of all of these different Spider-Men having a hub to jump into. They all have access to the Spider-Verse. They can go and hang out and talk and kind of like plan things together or get point of views. We saw multiple different versions talking with each other that are all probably from different universes. It looks exactly like the first movie, but just on a bigger scale, which is what the sequels you want them to do. It looks like it's taking things to a new height, and that's very exciting. But it's also taking the parts that maybe were not as talked about as much in the first one and elevating them much more than they were in the first one. And I'm very excited to meet these new characters, to see what the story is all about, to see where it takes Miles. Because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of in this camp that by the end of this trilogy, we're going to see him in live action.
100%.
I think so. If you remember correctly, the next two movies were going to be called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Part 2. They renamed the third one Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think he's stepping out of animation and stepping into live action at the end of that movie.
Wow.
I think there's a good chance we see him go from animation to live action in the last however bits of that movy, and he steps into the MCU or whatever.
I think he'll be in there by Secret Wars.
Well, yeah, I mean so
because the next movie drops 2024.
Yeah,
and Secret Wars was.
I think so. I think Beyond the Spider-Verse literally means out of animation. Because remember, what did No Way Home mean? That those guys had no way home.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just saying.
I mean, it makes sense.
I know I'm looking way too far ahead, but like, I think that's the trajectory that it's currently headed.
Well, I think you're right because I was thinking about this. Like, okay, this movie looks like very large scale, right? Across the Spider-Verse. And I'm like, how are they going? They already have like all the Spider-Man you can possibly imagine in animation in this movie. How are they going to top that? And that's the way to do it. If they do that, do you think, I think his name's Malik Moore, right?
Mhm.
Or is that his name? The voice actor?
I believe so. It's the gentleman from
Shameik
Dope,
Moore.
isn't it?
Shameik
Shameik
Moore.
Moore. Shameik Moore, yeah.
Do you think he's playing him when that happens?
I hope so.
If that happens.
I hope so.
I agree.
Isn't he older though?
He is, but he can get like by Brian, by that time they could age him.
Oh, exactly.
They already aged him 4 years or 2 years at least, like he's already looks bigger and older in this one.
He's gonna look older than Tom Holland in Spider-Man.
Well, but he doesn't look that old. Like if you've seen Shameik Moore, like he doesn't. You can age him down. You can make him look.
And
young.
also, who's to say that Miles Morales technically can't be older than Peter Parker in the MCU?
They're from different
The
universes.
MCU, because they're gonna want Miles Morales to be the Spider-Man for the next 20 years.
Well, yeah, but if you make Miles Morales in early 20s, right, and by that time Peter Parker will probably be early 20s, they're going to be around the same age. Like I think around the same age is totally fine.
Yeah.
What are the chances they kill off? What if they kill off Peter Parker?
No.
I mean,
I think that
Holland's 26 and Shameik Moore's 27. So
I think that, and we're looking way too far into this, but I think that Miles Morales will be Sony's Spider-Man and Tom Holland will be the MCU Spider-Man. That's what I think is going to happen. But they're going to interchange.
Wait,
they're going to interchange and interact.
You think?
I think Miles will be on Sony's side. He will be Sony Spider-Man, but can still interchange in the MCU. And then Tom Holland will continue to play in the MCU as the main Spider-Man, but will go back and forth between Sony and Marvel, obviously. That's what I think is going to happen.
Damn. That means we're not going to get The Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield and Tom Hardy.
If you want to take care of Peter Parker being his mentor problem, you get Toby or Andrew to do it with
you
him.
Could put Miles in the Andrew Garfield universe. You could do that. Like,
because I agree, Brian. Like, you can't have Tom Holland mentoring Shameik Moore. Like, it just wouldn't look right on screen. Like, because he's like, they look the same age, right? Or
Andrew Garfield mentoring Shameik Moore would make a lot more sense.
And Tom Holland's 26.
Yeah. But one of those guys doing it totally works.
Yeah, because Andrew Garfield has at least another trilogy before he becomes a mentor, right? The college trilogy, I guess.
Tom Holland.
You mean Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, yes.
Tom Holland, yeah.
I mean,
no.
It depends if they made Miles Morales let's say Tom Holland's or Peter Parker is, let's say he's a sophomore in college, and they made Miles Morales a junior or senior in high school. I could easily see Peter Parker.
What grade was he
into? I think he was only like a freshman or sophomore, if that.
Yeah,
he was young,
he was pretty young, but he's older young. Now.
Yeah, he's got to be around that junior senior age. That's what I would imagine. But I think what Tom Holland's Peter Parker has gone through so much, even though he's young, he would still be able to mentor someone pretty quickly, I think.
I mean, Andy does kind of make a point.
That's true. He's already being mentored by Peter B. Parker, which leads to my question. Is Peter B. Parker in the new footage? Is that him kind of in a robe?
That was him, and he has a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think he's in the whole movie or just in the beginning?
I don't think he'll be in the whole movie, but I think we're going to see him a lot.
Yeah.
I think we'll see him quite a bit, but I don't think he's going to go on the adventure. I think it's going to be Miles and Gwen personally. That's what I think.
Oh yeah, and we kind of see that. Right?
I think I heard it has to do with Gwen's story a lot more. Like her.
Yeah, I could see this one being much more on the Gwen side of things than the Miles side. And Miles is kind of there helping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. She's a great character, so nothing wrong with that.
Any chance we see Venom or Carnage?
Probably maybe Venom, but not Carnage.
I think that there's a chance of seeing Venom in the background of a shot, but I don't think we'll ever see him up front.
Animated, just a new animated version for this
maybe
movie.
A black suit Spider-Man, not yet Venom.
Yeah, a black suit Spider-Man would actually, and we've seen plenty of those types of versions, but
they have there's a bunch of the Spider-Man, the PlayStation Spider-Man in the trailer. Like
the Insomniac game version. Yeah.
Oh, what?
They
He's in there talking
crazy.
to another Spider-Man on the
yeah,
bridge.
and then
Yeah, I never
sitting
played
on-
the game, so
sitting
Let me
on
see
the
if I can pull it
ground. Sitting on the ground is like the neon suited one.
yeah,
That's
that's
in black.
perfect because like it's total multiversal story and Spider-Verse stuff, so they could include any Spider-Man ever, like in any medium.
Oh yeah, I mean they're literally making up
That's-
Spider-Man to put in this, so
That's awesome.
it's yeah.
Sorry, I'm grabbing an image real quick.
Oh.
Hold on one sec.
Agent Venom.
Agent
Yes,
Venom
please.
I think that would be the one that we would see if we saw is Agent Venom.
Oh, that'd be cool. Who
Here-
is that?
here-
Flash
here you go.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yes.
There's the Insomniac video game
Oh,
version.
what?
And that neon one is also in the game too.
hmm So yeah, that's the video game version that's currently going.
That is clean.
Yeah, it's
So is
crazy.
that Peter Parker?
I mean,
That's Peter. Yes.
That is a Peter Parker.
A Peter
yeah.
Parker,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I know all
Because-
of them aren't Peter Parker, but I wonder how many Peter Parkers are there. like, 'cause-
Yeah. I mean, there's
That's
gonna be a
crazy.
lot.
yeah.
I think we'll
mean,
see Toby and Andrew Spider-Man too, right?
like their
They're
animated
reading-
versions.
It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
animated
I heard
version.
Tom Holland's.
There's rumors, but I think it would be Tom Holland over. And what's funny about it is like, what suit would you use to make him recognizable, right? Because we've seen so many from him. If we did see him, it 100% sets up him going to live action. Like 100% sets up.
Oh yeah.
Like they do 3 like imagine like a 6-movie run where the first 3 movies were animation and then they did 3 live action movies. That's wild.
The thing
That's
I've never
wild.
seen that before.
The
No.
thing that would be
That's
interesting
crazy.
though, if they did put Tom Holland's, that's a big deal for the MCU. Like that's
Yeah.
like
100%.
that Spider-Man has access now to whatever this ginormous thing is, and that pulls in a lot of like he's going to have to come back knowing that all of this stuff happened.
Yeah, I was wondering. So if we saw Tom Holland Spider-Man in there, does that mean that's the same one and he's there now and he's
I would
able to
assume
go into the
so.
Spider-Verse? Like,
Or
Well,
or you also have to question it could be a variant of Tom Holland's.
yeah,
Spider-Man.
exactly. And I'm sure there are some.
Gio, what?
Well, remember in Multiverse of Madness, the one multiverse thing we actually got where they went through all of it. One of it was animation. So
Animation.
You'd definitely be a part of that.
exists.
And
And they are making that. I mean, I know it's not really connected, but they are making that show too, the freshman one.
And the X-Men show. So,
Well, and those were confirmed to be in different universes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, they're clearly going all in.
movie's
So,
gonna
and
be
we have to keep in mind that as much as we may not want it because the movies they're just not as consistent. The Sony universe is a part of the MCU. Plain and simple. It's an extension of the MCU. They don't play with those characters because it's a different universe, but that doesn't mean we can't see those characters. And the Spider-Verse version, this animated universe, is an extension of the Sonyverse that
mhm.
could easily transform into the MCU verse. Like it is literally. I feel like Charlie Day on that scene where he's got the red strings, just looking at everything, talking
Yeah.
about this whole thing. Because what Multiverse of Madness did, and even No Way Home, it brought everything together. And now we're looking at every Marvel property ever being like, well, okay, it's separate, but now it's kind of connected
Yeah.
and we can still do this.
I mean, the
and-
Fox universe is, the Sony
Yep.
universe is. We just
Yep.
don't know
And-
if like the Blade movies are or something like
well,
that.
and we're
but
gonna
still.
see the Fox stuff with Deadpool. Like that's gonna clear
Mhm.
everything up with that, which he's gonna kill the Fox universe. It's gonna be fucking incredible. I'm so excited. But then this Spidey stuff is like, I mean, they essentially opened up a blank space in the universe where Spider-Man just hang out. It's their own hangout space. Like that's wild. It's like where He Who Remains hangs out, but for Spider-Man.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Like there's
Like-
no time, right? It's just like a central portal to all their universes. Brian, your thing was right. It's like Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Where they all go through a door.
That's
It's like
insane.
it's the hub.
It's wild.
I don't know what it's called.
It's crazy
It's
to me that a
wild.
character like as simple as Spider-Man, who really just has like super strength and can crawl on walls, like is this complex, like has like this multiversal universe a part of it, like
Yeah.
Flash level. That's crazy.
There's a
Insane.
reason why he's one of the most popular.
Yeah, and don't forget, Madam Web's coming out too, which like that will probably tie in somehow, some way to all this as well.
We
It's gonna be
shall
interesting.
see. All right, gentlemen, any final thoughts on this trailer before we move on to the main topic of the show?
It's funny. Sorry, last thing. It's funny, Jake, you said something earlier that I was going to comment on that I forgot. It's funny how they are definitely making it seem like 2099 Spider-Man is the bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like eventually something's going to change, but like,
He's going to be the bad guy, and then they're going to figure out, oh, he's actually doing it for the good of mankind, so we're going to follow him.
yeah.
It's that type of thing, which I'm totally fine with because Miguel O'Hara is a badass.
I'd be curious to see if they just make him be like the furthest Spider-Man in time. So like maybe he's like the one that's in charge of doing it or something.
Maybe
I was
he
gonna say,
just
it seems
knows
like
the
he's in charge.
most.
Yeah. So
Oscar Isaac voicing him too. Killer.
Yeah.
Crazy.
the kids,
He's a Moon Knight variant.
yeah.
Wow.
The kids were so
Forgot
excited.
about that.
I will say one thing because I know we're going to wrap up. That I love about this most is there's so much inclusion in this because like all of my kids lost, like Jacob knows our school is very diverse. It like all the black kids love Miles Morales. And then all of a sudden the kids saw Oscar Isaac,
Miguel O'Hara,
2099.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they lost, like it's just like everyone's losing that. And I have a bunch of Asian kids that love Penny Parker, and they're like,
nice.
So I love it. I love seeing it because they're all liking the same thing, but they all have like a different version that they can like. So it's cool. I love it. That's why they got
Gio, Jacob, any final thoughts?
No, can't wait for this damn movie.
I better get 1994 Spider-Man somehow. That animated show is a classic. Give me that Spider-Man.
Well, we saw Spider-Man
cameo.
Unlimited. We saw Spider-Man Unlimited in the trailer.
Yeah,
He's from the TV show, so that there is a possibility.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, there is a possibility.
Yes, Gordon, that too. That is also very true.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Puerto Rican.
All right, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and move on and talk about the main topic of the evening. We are talking about everything DC. I'm just putting it in my notes as far as a timestamp. Give me one quick second. Obviously, if you have been paying attention to the internet, a big article for DC came out this past week. 2 of them, actually, from the Hollywood Reporter. And they had some inside information, whether it's true or not. We leave that up to everyone to decide on their own. But we're going to talk about everything. Let me just run down the basics of what happened real quick. So it started out, the main headline of this article was that Wonder Woman 3 is not happening. It's not moving forward. Patty Jenkins is no longer attached to bring this movie to theaters. And it noted that she turned in the script and that WB did not accept it. And nor did she want to do a rewrite, or did WB want a rewrite. So it looks like at the moment, the Wonder Woman franchise is put on hold, and that obviously leaves Gal Gadot's future in question. It moved forward to talk about Man of Steel and Superman, and the fact that even though we did see that Henry Cavill appeared in Black Adam, that Man of Steel 2 is just up in the air. It's kind of in a little dead zone right now. An article later on came out that said that Stephen Knight, the showrunner for Peaky Blinders, wrote a script for the film, and WB did not like it. They weren't a fan of it, so they denied it, and that the movie is basically just in a stalemate process. And that article continued to talk about Aquaman and Superman and the fact that even though they have cameos in The Flash and upcoming movies, that doesn't guarantee anybody's future. That Aquaman 2 could be the last time we see Jason Momoa. That Black Adam could very well be the last time we see Henry Cavill. And obviously, this all pointed to everyone's head going, well, what does this mean? Are they rebooting? Are they completely taking everything and wiping it clean, turning their backs on everything that came beforehand, and starting fresh with the characters that they want to start with? And later on, about 2 days later, another article came out that touched on WB looking into doing a crisis Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline, which would have focused heavily on Henry Cavill's Superman, as well as bringing back Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer for a Batman Beyond movie. That was in works. That was possibly going to happen, and it ended up being canceled, which is the biggest, just unfortunate thing of this whole entire thing. But we're going to talk about it. I don't know where we want to start, boys. I don't know if we want to go in order. I don't know how we want to do this. But I want, and Gio, I see you making all these faces. I know you got thoughts, man. I know.
I want to go last.
I know.
I want to hear about this. Go ahead. I want to hear about this.
Okay, so let's talk about each thing kind of one by one, but quickly. I want 2-3 sentences of each of you of your like a reaction to all of this. That when you read it, you were like, "Oh, that's kind of a big deal." Jacob, I'll let you start.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, basically what's happening is like everything that was in the works, other than probably the Matt Reeves Batman stuff, is up in the air. They
Correct.
could keep whatever they want or get rid of whatever they want. That's basically what's happening.
The only thing that is officially in the books is Matt Reeves' Batman's universe.
And Joker 2.
And Joker.
And Joker 2, excuse
Well,
me. And Joker
they're
2.
making it already, right? Aren't they?
Yeah.
Fully, I
They're
do.
filming it right now.
Okay. Look, I don't blame them for doing this because imagine, they come into these jobs, right? James Gunn and Peter Safran, and they're like, man, like every decision we make, we're tied to what happened before us. Like we have to do everything by the history of this DCU or DCEU as it was previously called. And maybe it was holding them back in some ideas that they had. And now they're basically like, all right, the handcuffs are off, no strings attached. We can use anything from that universe, but we don't necessarily have to. As much as I love, I love Henry Cavill Superman. I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. But it's tough. Like, how do you tie these creatives down? Or James Gunn is the creative in this scenario. Like, how do you tie them down to a previous universe? But the thing is, they've already played. Like, we know Michael Keaton's supposed to be in the Flash, right? So, like, they're already playing with that. Like, there's a multiverse in DC in this movie universe. So to me, it's like they already had the option to drop or continue anything they wanted. So this is basically like they're just announcing it to the world. And maybe there's more information that I'm not aware of, but just from the outside looking in, like it seems to me that it sucks because I would be totally fine with them like rolling with the actors, most of them, except one, all the actors that they have in place right now as the characters and just building their universe going forward as that. And it doesn't have to be like in the same continuity, but at least it's those actors, even if they want to say like, hey, this is a variant of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman.
No,
whatever.
That's not
like, well, no, I mean, the word variant isn't like just only doesn't belong to the MCU. It just means like a different version of that character.
No, I know,
So,
but I think we're far from that in the DCU.
No, I know. And I'm saying like, I would prefer it's that same Wonder Woman, like going forward. And that's what I want. But I don't know. I mean, it's crazy.
Brian, quick reaction.
Why do
I know that wasn't quick.
Why do I get rushed, but Jacob gets to go and rant? No.
Well, Jacob didn't pay attention to quick.
I very much am like, I feel like half of it is true, half of it's false. Like I'm very like there are certain things that I could definitely see, and then there's certain things that I'm like, I don't know if I believe that much. Yeah, I have other thoughts, but
yeah, it's very tricky because and THR is very reputable. They're a very high source, so we tend to believe some things that come from their camp. But at the same time, you look at it, you're like, oh, well, that's interesting. They just brought Henry Cavill back in a cameo for Black Adam, but now he's up in the air whether or not we're ever going to actually see him again. Mm-hmm. I will say that if they, and say this is all true, say they decide to reboot everything, right? There's a part of me that would be absolutely okay with it because it then allows them to tell the story that they want to tell in a straight or the straightest line they can possibly tell without any quote unquote baggage. But there's also a part of me that says, well, You have the best casting you're ever going to get in Henry Cavill. You have someone who's very dedicated to the character of Wonder Woman. Jason Momoa is very dedicated to the character of Aquaman. You can make some changes with some other characters if you want to. There's a lot of people who really enjoy these movies and these characters, and they want to continue. And there's ways to do that. But I would understand that if James Gunn and Peter Safran came in and they're like, we kind of want a fresh start to tell our story, to start something. We're gonna have to wipe the slate clean. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm very excited to dive into it, to the specifics. But Gio, you can't take up too much time.
That was more than 2 sentences, by the way.
So was yours. No, it wasn't.
No,
Yours
it
wasn't.
wasn't.
Jacob's was.
Mine
was shorter
was,
than
my
Jacob.
bad.
Mine was
I
shorter.
broke it.
Gio, your reaction to this before we dive into everything specifics.
Where's my beer?
Exactly. Yeah, the one time I'm not drinking beer. So if you read the article carefully, 3/4 of it is speculation, and 1/4 of it is actual reporting. That's not a knock on Boris Kitt. He's up there with the best of the best when it comes to film journalism. But the only big takeaway from this, in my opinion, is Wonder Woman 3 in its current, what's the word? In its current
Development?
Damn it.
Iteration?
Let's see. Incarnation.
Oh, incarnation
Is not moving forward. Its current incarnation is considered dead. And to add to what Jake said earlier, Patty Jenkins did come out and make a statement as well, because journalism, as much credit as we give the Hollywood Reporter, they love to feed off this crap. They do. They're guilty of it. I've sent you guys screenshots back when we were on Facebook Messenger before Discord. I wish we had Discord so I could just throw it all out there, how misleading sometimes journalism can be for reasons that Patty Jenkins stated in her latest tweet. Clickbait. They know what gets clicks. They know what drives traffic. And if anybody is naive enough to say that, no, even the best ones aren't guilty of it, that's complete BS. Okay. The whole talk to anybody who's been in journalism for a long time, whether it's, Sean O'Connell, who's been there for 20 years, or, someone like a John Campy, who doesn't even consider himself a journalist, but more of a pundit, they will all tell you that, this is in fact true. So, I mean, I'm going to wait. Okay. That's it. That was way more than 2 sentences. Okay. So
still shorter than Jacob.
Okay, let's dive into the Wonder Woman 3 aspect of all of this. We're kind of going to do this in chunks. We have about 30 plus minutes left on the show. So obviously, when this article came out, it said Wonder Woman 3 currently is not moving forward. Patty Jenkins is no longer attached. The script that she turned in didn't work, and rewrites were just not a thing. And then luckily today, before the show happened, Patty Jenkins happened to post something to Twitter.
I love when they contact us and do stuff like that.
Yeah, they were like, your show's going live tonight. We want you to have this. And she basically came out and said, it's very lengthy, but she basically came out and poured her love out for Wonder Woman, poured her love out for the opportunities she was given, poured her love out to Gal Gadot, talked about how she is still attached and developing Rogue Squadron, which is a very big sigh of relief regarding Star Wars, but that she is no longer attached to anything Wonder Woman. Her days as Wonder Woman creator, director, writer are officially over. If they were to do a Wonder Woman 3 or project in the future, she would not be attached. And so, like Gio said, there is a possibility of seeing it, but it won't be from Patty Jenkins. There's a possibility of seeing Gal Gadot, but if they decide to go a route where they're rebooting everything, we could have already seen Gal Gadot's final time as Wonder Woman. It's kind of a big deal because from the start, she's kind of been one of the biggest staples. Like, she was in BVS. Wonder Woman made a ridiculous amount of money, and it was a great, great movie. Wonder Woman 2 had that whole situation during the pandemic. She was a huge part of the Justice League movies alongside Batman. Like, she's been a staple of this franchise. I mean, honestly, she's been more important than Superman has to this point, which is crazy to think about. So not having a third movie and possibly moving on from Gal Gadot is kind of a big deal, which is why I imagined it was the headliner of this article. Gio, I want you to get in as much as you possibly can, but I got to start with Jacob because he's the Wonder Woman guy on this panel. He is the Wonder Woman guy on this panel. Jacob, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I do love Wonder Woman. I would say that Wonder Woman movie saved the DCEU at the time. I mean, I don't think there's much arguing that. They needed a hit and they got it, and it was huge success. And I've said this before, like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, she's a global icon. Like little kids around the world recognize, they see Gal Gadot and they say, that's Wonder Woman. Like as much as you see a kid sees Robert Downey Jr. and they say, that's Iron Man. Like she's become that. And it's like, I think more so than any character in the DCEU. I mean, Henry Cavill's up there, like saying he's on the same level. But so it's hard to move on from that. Like if I'm David Zaslav, like why would you throw that away? So I think there's they should keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman and just figure this thing out. And I think that's what they are going to do. I mean, I don't mind them bringing in new writers and a new director. That happens all the time. And it doesn't take anything away from what Patty Jenkins has done for comic book movies, for female action heroes, for Gal Gadot and the Wonder Woman character. It takes none of that away. She still deserves all the credit in the world for what she did, especially with that first movie. And we can move on. It's okay. But I still think Gal Gadot has to be Wonder Woman, if you ask me. Like, I don't know if that's going to happen. I hope so. But I that's what I think. Yeah, they got to keep her. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
It all depends on if they reboot it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if they decide to go full fresh start, they have to. But I think if they pick and choose the things that have worked, which I think is probably what they're gonna do, pick the things that have worked for it so far and kind of build off of it. She's obviously one of the go-tos, if not the go-to. She's been in the most movies. We've seen her the most out of any of the characters through the past, just going all the way back, dating back to Man of Steel, the past 9 years. We've seen her the most. And so if they were to pick and choose things, I think that, 100%, we continue to see Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman going forward.
So I don't know how to talk because my stuff kind of like encompasses everything, but still kind of like picks and pulls. So I don't know how if you want me to.
Well, what parts of Wonder Woman are relate to that?
Here's my thing. I personally like kind of understand if they do reboot it because like I feel like you're always going to, if you use these same people for the most part, you're always going to associate it with what was before, right? I mean, it'd be kind of hard. It's kind of hard to just be like, it's the same people, but we're starting all over. Like has that ever been done in movies where it's like, here's the same people, but we're starting the whole thing all over again? And then
I had this conversation with someone in a Discord the other day.
Yeah. So like that,
you'd be expecting too much from the audience.
I don't know if that's a task that is impossible to do or not. My problem is I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. Now, I think the rumor that Jason Momoa is going to go from Aquaman to Lobo, I think that's true. I 100% think that that's true. That is probably the one thing out of the whole entire thing that I think is true. Because he is horrible at keeping secrets. And like the day before this dropped, he said it was on TikTok or something that he was like, I just got some news and it's the best news of my whole entire life. And then like the next day this dropped. And so like red flag, thinking like, oh, okay, well, that's probably what it is. I mean, and I'm assuming if you're putting him in Lobo, he's going to be under all this makeup and all this crap. So it's not as much a big deal as like Superman or Wonder Woman, who's kind of like the same face. They don't have like that type of stuff. I don't know. I want new because I feel like James Gunn could absolutely start a universe and make it successful. I think there's no one's questioning that. I'm just a little bit afraid to lose the people we have.
Well, not to mention he directed a movie in the universe too.
I just don't see how.
Just imagine if he wipes the slate clean. That's no more Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
I mean, there's so much. Like the only ones that Peacemaker stuff can probably survive. That's probably. I just don't. My question, I think, also is like The Rock was just like blah 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 blah, like talking about it. Like, I think it would be such a slap in the face if like you're just like, no, we're getting ready to go.
Well, that's one thing in the article that I forgot to mention is that Black Adam 2 currently at the moment isn't anywhere in sight. They're kind of reevaluating that based on obviously results and where they go with that character. And that probably includes the Shazam franchise as well.
Gio, I'm trying to think, was there any actual, other than Henry Cavill, was there any actual like stuff that we connected, like where we're like, oh yeah, that has
in Black Adam?
Yeah.
Amanda Waller.
I mean, you have Amanda Waller, yeah.
And James Gunn's wife, Jennifer Holland.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Oh yeah. I mean, it connected.
I saw the funniest tweet. Someone tweeted, if James Gunn's wiping the universe, he's also getting a divorce because he's wiping his wife's entire roles away. Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, Black Adam.
Different character, but still, yeah.
Yeah. Gio, you're awfully quiet, man. Come on, let's go.
I'm just because there's so much. Literally, I could literally take up the whole damn
thoughts
show,
on Wonder Woman first, because that's what we were talking about.
Sorry, I
Well, I just want to hear Gio's thoughts on Wonder Woman. Yeah,
Gal Gadot is not going anywhere as Wonder Woman. Okay, like this. Stop.
Insider Gio.
Okay. Like no. I'm looking at her tweet, literally that she did the day before, where it ends saying, "Can't wait to share her next chapter with you." I
hope that's real, but she's not the one calling the shots. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so let's talk about that. James Gunn and Peter Safran, where they were both tasked with creating this is important, creating a 10-year plan for DC. My thought process is, okay, they're gonna make this plan that in 10 years, this DC universe that they have is going to end, whatever it's going. And here's why I say that. It's because James Gunn, who did he feature at the end of the last episode of Peacemaker? Who was there?
The Justice League.
Spoiler, it was the Justice League. Specifically, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, Ezra Miller's Flash, a silhouette. Okay, we'll get to that. Okay, because I shared quite a few things on my Discord, and yeah, they're not hiding away from that.
I like that you're calling it your Discord, and it's just a channel on our Discord. On our
Discord. Yeah.
The Insider Geo Discord channel. There we go.
By the way, guys, what did I tell you about journalism and misleading? Okay, there's a reason
why. How much do you love the Discord?
Yeah, how much do you love that Discord, Geo?
I love it. I love it. Engaging with
he can get it all out, and like when we're all too busy to respond, now everyone can respond.
Yeah, he doesn't have to message to us anymore. Yeah.
Dude, I was having a 1v2 debate with some people on Avatar: The Way of Water, and it was fun.
1v2, nice.
Yeah. Because
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Keep going.
No, it's okay. Look, I'm reading Patty Jenkins' statement right here, and I don't think she's anywhere close to not being involved in Wonder Woman 3 or DC. I'll read this.
Wait, so you think she's still going to be involved? You think that she'll still be involved?
Well,
really?
My question: do you think she's going to direct?
I think she's
done directing.
I think she's done.
To be completely honest, I kind of want like her gone. Like I
want something new. I love her. I want something new.
I kind of want a little change.
But Gio, give us your argument because you were ready to go. So let's.
No. I mean,
Or
read
you're
the
evident.
read
You're
the third
supporting
paragraph of the tweet and read it closely. But I came across. Never mind. No, that's insider stuff. We're gonna stick to Wonder Woman. Okay. Expect to see her in an upcoming DC movie, and whether or not she is in the Flash, this Flash movie just got a whole lot more interesting because they could very well. In the article, it said the picture is currently unlocked. They're having to decide a lot of things about this movie. This could very well be a must-see movie, if not for Keaton, if not for Affleck, for the fact that it's going to give us a real sense of where this DC universe is going for the next 10 years.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
on that point, kind of a next stage of all this is that, Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa both shot cameos for The Flash. Ben Affleck shot scenes for Aquaman. We know now, and I mean, as far as I understand, it's confirmed, but Ben Affleck scenes in Aquaman are cut. They're not going to be in the movie. And we don't know if we're going to be seeing Cavill or Momoa in The Flash. It said in that, and I'm just basing this all off of the article. They said that those cameos are up in the air and whether or not they're going to be shown because they don't know the future of the characters. And being that The Flash comes after Aquaman, and if it is Jason Momoa's final time as the character, why show him, right? Why show him again if we're never going to see him as the character again? Yeah, man. I mean, it's very interesting. I think
Curtis's comment was A1. A1.
No, look, here's the truth, and here's the bottom line. Okay, and you guys can have the rest of the show.
no, don't do that.
Nobody,
Stop it.
Nobody knows. Boris Kitt, as
100%.
great as he is,
I
does not
100%
know.
agree
The
with
Hollywood
you.
Reporter does not know. I don't know. None of the scoopers know. The only two people who know right now are James Gunn and Peter Safran. Again, read the article. Most of it is speculation. That's all Boris is doing. Is he's speculating?
And we're speculating too, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
saying
But the only thing is that
or, like,
it's
actual statements.
on the Hollywood Reporter, much less the Heat Vision.
Yeah.
If you guys ever read the
The
Heat
Heat
Vision,
Vision,
it's
yeah.
it's more of that. That's more of like hot tip and here this and that. So. And speaking of that, James Gunn and Peter Safran, they're both pitching to David Zaslav this week, which is why I'm taking Patty Jenkins as not completely done yet because she said, I'll read this one sentence. I never walked away. It was my understanding there was nothing I could do to move anything forward at this time because at this time, they are currently pitching a universe that either David Zaslav is going to give the green light or he's not going to give the green light. So, yes, I completely agree. There are a lot of things up in the air. I'm more worried about Black Adam and Dwayne Johnson having his corner of the DC universe that he said
Not
he was going to
happening.
do than I am about Wonder Woman 3, Patty Jenkins, or Gal Gadot. That's the bigger question because Dwayne Johnson thought he had more power than
Oh, yeah.
DC,
No.
than Warner Brothers Discovery. That was clearly not the case. He even tried to go out there and say that Black Adam was profitable. It made this amount of money. But then you have the Hollywood Reporter. That was Deadline. The Hollywood Reporter is saying, no, Black Adam actually is going to lose 50 to 100 million. So it's like, for me, that's the even more insane thing. More than Wonder Woman, more than Jason Momoa's Aquaman. It's like, what's going on with Black Adam? Dwayne Johnson did this parade. He had everything figured out. I don't know.
I think what we kind of speculated on with I don't know if we're going to be getting a sequel to Black Adam, but I think there's a possibility if Shazam 2 does well.
Okay, wait. God damn it, Jake! You always steal my shit. Go ahead.
Just mention Shazam too.
No, I was gonna say something about Shazam.
Because Shazam right now, out of all of the properties, it has had the least connection out of
I
everything.
hate you so much.
It has had
I want to leave right now. I've been sitting here for 10 minutes waiting to say
Wait, you
something.
said Shazam or Black Adam?
Shazam. Shazam has
Yeah.
had the least
I'm gonna
connection to
leave.
anything DCU, and even though Black Adam had a ton of stuff, a ton of stuff that was connected to the DCU, right? Amanda Waller and obviously the cameo from Superman. You can plug Black Adam into the Shazam universe with no issue because we haven't seen Amanda Waller in Shazam, or we haven't seen. Obviously, we saw Headless Superman at the end of the first Shazam, right? But I tend to believe that going
I'm
forward,
literally leaving. What is that noise? Oh, is that Jake? Sorry. I thought it was one of the dogs.
I live
You're
with a
fine,
2-year-old.
You're fine. You're fine.
It's all good, buddy.
I think that Black Adam 2 is 100% gone, done, and that if we do see the character moving forward, if Dwayne Johnson will allow it, he will be in Shazam 3 if Shazam 2 does well. I think that it would be incredible, and if, say, Shazam 2 doesn't work out, we get another Suicide Squad movie where they have to stop Black Adam. That's what I want to see.
Which was very much on the table in the early drafts.
That's what I want to see.
David
If
Ayer's
Shazam 3 doesn't happen, I want to see a classic storyline from the comics of the Suicide Squad taking down Black Adam. That would be incredible.
They better have General Zod on that team because I don't know how the Suicide Squad's gonna attack. I guess
got some hitters on that, but
Reverse Flash,
you're right.
maybe. You know,
I don't know, man. It's all interesting. It's. I'm curious, Brian. I'm sorry that I upset you because
You have no idea how mad I am right now.
Wait, so is this something that Brian told you guys talked about before, and Brian was like, "This is my idea," and then Jake
I just
stole it?
happened to say
Always
it.
does this shit to me every single time. Where I'm sitting here patient. I'm like, I'm not going to interrupt anyone this time, and I'm going to sit here patiently. And then he says everything I'm about to say that I've been waiting for 10 minutes to say.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that it would be so ironic that if the one thing that comes out of this, the cleanest, is Shazam, because of the I don't even know if you want to call it a mistake, the stupidity at the time of them not putting Henry Cavill's head in there.
That's stupidity.
It
wasn't a mistake. It was stupid.
It was stupid.
Well, what if Henry Cavill
could
declined
literally
it or wasn't
save-
available?
There's
Gio,
no
that
way
could
he
literally-
declines that. There's no
That
way
could
he
literally
declines
save Shazam now, because say they do get rid of Superman or whatever, you don't have to connect Shazam to Black Adam right now. You could literally Shazam has not touched anything in the DCEU
Except the
other than name
trailers,
drops.
but they could
Other
say
than name
they
drops.
could work around that.
And a little bit of the Batarang and the
Batarang and the
no,
bullet.
But they're
The bullet.
saying that a Batman exists in his world,
Exactly.
or that a
There's-
Superman exists in his world. It doesn't have
There's
to be
literally
those ones.
no, at least that I can think of,
sure.
true connection at this moment. Who knows what Fury of the Gods does? But at this moment right now, you have nothing that connects it to the other stuff visually, because of the fact you have this down of Henry Cavill's body, or the Henry Cavill Superman's supposed to be body. There's nothing. So if they're smart,
So what's your point? Go ahead. Yeah.
no. So I'm saying if they are truly getting rid of all these actors or whatever that the Hollywood Reporter is saying, you don't have to get rid of the Shazam one, because the Shazam one right now is in its own category. Whereas everything is so, like, look at Black Adam. If they wouldn't have put Henry Cavill at the end of it, you could have gotten away with it with
Amanda
Black
Waller
Adam.
too.
Or Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
So other than those two, and both
And
of those-
hardcore.
yeah. So it's interesting because I don't think you have to take at this moment. Again, I don't know what Fury of the Gods does, but at this moment, you don't have to take Shazam off the table. If you're rebooting,
They have no choice. They have 4 movies coming out, so anything that gets announced is going to be after the 4 movies that get released.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We know Blue Beetle. James Gunn shared. I don't know if you guys saw the poster. That was pretty sick. I think I shared it. That's awesome.
I can't wait.
The Flash movie, and whatever happens to it, it will get released, and it will be a new jumping point to what I think is going to be a soft reboot. They're going to, I don't know who said that, but they're going to pick and choose. I don't see them, and this is speculation since, that's what we're doing. I don't see them getting rid of Henry Cavill Superman. I think
hope-
I think it
one
lessens
person. I
It-
hope it's him.
it lessens the chance of a Man of Steel 2 happening anytime soon. But you could literally throw a Superman into whatever movies and have him be like I don't know, like how they did Tony Stark's Iron Man in the later movies, you know, where he was in Civil War, where he was in Homecoming. I don't think he was in anything else, actually. That's about it. But like how they used Tony Stark to make him a connective tissue. James Gunn tweeted out that Superman is very important to him and is going to be a part of this 10-year plan. It makes no sense to recast Superman and like use him for 10 years and then do it again. You know, I've always said they have a plan to end the 10-year mark with Darkseid. It's already set up there. The general audiences loved it, those who saw it unanimously. And I think that's the way that, you know, they should go. And I'm fully expecting a soft reboot starting with The Flash. That's why that picture remains unlocked.
Hot take.
Yeah.
I would
So,
rather
Gio-
them not go after Darkseid first.
Gio, I think I know.
no.
I mean, I know the answer to this, but so like obviously David Zaslav has final word, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
James Gunn and Peter Safran, they can't decide. Oh, we're just going to get rid of Gal Gadot. Oh, we're going to get rid of Henry Cavill. They can't decide that. It's a Zaslav decision.
It's a Zaslav decision, and trust me, he's looking at that first Aquaman movie and how it somehow, in the state of the DCEU at the time, it made over $1 billion.
That's what I was going to bring up.
And if this one makes close to, if not as much as the first movie does, I don't see Jason Momoa leaving the Aquaman role. He could very likely play two different characters, considering the other one would be heavy makeup and some visual effects. I could definitely see that happening, but he's given me no. Jason Momoa has not given any. And correct me if I'm wrong in the chat and on the panel. Has Jason Momoa ever said, "I hate playing Aquaman"?
No.
Not at all. He loves it. He loves, you know, what they did for what Zack Snyder did for the character. You know, everyone loves the casting, and part of it was because of how genius it was, making a Pacific Islander the king of the oceans. Like, how badass is that?
Yeah, I think that's so. Like I said before, I think Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, and Jason Momoa are very, very important to this universe, obviously. And I mean, I'm all for like I said, I'm all supportive of James Gunn having his creative vision and not trying to be held back by anything. But when it comes down to it, making movies is a business. And Peter Zaslav is going to say, what is best for us to succeed? Not necessarily just making money, but also like pleasing the fans, obviously making money, and just having the perception or the, you know, the fact that this is a successful universe, right? And I think, you know, just we don't know what Aquaman, the Lost Kingdom is going to do, but I'm guessing it's going to do well. The first one made $1 billion unexpectedly, so I just wouldn't. If I were, I mean, I'm nowhere near. I'm not an executive or nothing. I have no experience like him, but I wouldn't make that decision. Like, I don't know. I think there's a way to make it work. You know, do something new with these characters.
My biggest question is, can this be successful starting a new universe with the same people? That is my biggest. No, that's just my biggest curiosity. It is something that has never been done before, where you are keeping the same people, at least in movies, let's say, where you are taking these people and rebooting it and hoping that it's more successful than the previous one, even though it's the same people. That's a bold thing to do if they do that.
I think it's 100% going to be more successful because the first one never really had a chance to finish or even continue on. It was just studio meddling after, you know, one executive after another, one regime after another, whether it's Kevin Tsujihara or Walter Hamada. By the way, now all of a sudden it comes out that Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer were going to be in Batman Beyond. Where the hell was that at last DC fandom?
Okay, I think
They're
did
just
that
pulling
on
shit.
He did that
they're
on
pull-
purpose.
They're just pulling shit out of their ass.
100%.
Walter Hamada, trust me, I didn't hear shit from this guy at all. We didn't have any plan or anything at all. It was just we're gonna get Michael Keaton as Batman. But wait a minute, we have Michael Keaton in Batgirl, but we have J.K. Simmons, Commissioner Gordon. How does this make? By the way, that movie got canceled, and wait a minute, hold on. Now you're gonna have Batgirl and Supergirl lead this DC universe with Michael Keaton's Batman. What is going on here?
I very much agree with you, Gio.
I was
that
so
now
confused.
That he's out, he seems to just be like, I was going to give you guys everything.
We were going to do this.
Yeah.
Where's that Green Lantern show, by the way?
Yeah. I agree with you. When he came out and said, we were going to do Final Crisis. We were going to do...
oh my God. We could have had... Yeah. What? Please tell me. What was the plan?
Yeah.
Where was the universe going? Tell me. Where was it going?
It's easy to say when you're not in charge of it anymore and you have no stuff. I thought the same thing, Gio. I thought the same thing.
So Jake, come on, man. That'll help me.
No, you're good. I'm sitting back listening to you guys converse.
Something, man. God, say something.
I mean, so look, we've talked about the whole Aquaman and Jason Momoa thing. We've talked about Wonder Woman. We've talked about Man of Steel. We briefly touched on The Flash. The only other thing that really came out of this big article is the fact that they were looking into doing a Crisis on Infinite Earth story and then the Batman Beyond stuff, which we kind of touched on the whole possibilities and where it was going. It just seems like they were throwing stuff at the wall and to see what stuck. It's very much the vibe I got, even though that Batman Beyond is the one thing that I would love to see.
Oh, dude.
It obviously doesn't fit into a universe. It would 100% be some type of spin-off separate thing. But, I said it last week when this dropped. I love the Batman storylines that we have. The Batman from this year is one of the best movies I've seen this year. It's my favorite Batman movie, hands down. I think that what Matt Reeves did with the character was phenomenal. But Batman Beyond makes it completely different from all the other Batman movies we get, right? The Batman movies we currently have are just casting a big-name actor to go face some bad guys in a story. And granted, they're all different and unique, and they're really good. But Batman Beyond is a completely new take on Batman that we haven't seen. And it can really reinvigorate those people who may be thinking, we're just getting too much Batman. There's too much Batman going on.
Ooh, Gordon, that's a good idea for a casting table.
It is a good idea. Thank you.
Add it.
Just
How did we never think of that?
Doing a Batman Beyond movie and bringing back Michael Keaton, who, you think the first one came out in 1989. We're just over 30 years past that. It kind of fits the timeline, right? You go back into the Tim Burton universe. You do a Batman story from that world. I mean, I don't know how you could say no to doing that. I really don't. I feel like that's just $1 billion movie waiting to happen.
It's because they were never going to do it, Jake.
Stupid.
And here's my biggest reason
now
why now they're saying
now.
What did Dwayne Johnson say leading up to Black Adam about Henry Cavill? They tried to get Henry Cavill with a previous regime. The answer was always no, we cannot. It took Pamela Abdi and I can't remember the other name, the current Warner Brothers Discovery executive producers. Dwayne Johnson had to go to them. That's why Walter Hamada left. You remember that? That was like a few months ago. But they said, yeah, you can have Henry Cavill in there. And then you find out that Walter Hamada was trying to do a crisis event and he was going to bring back Henry Cavill. No, he wasn't.
No. You're just going to conveniently bring him back. How many years has it been since Man of Steel?
And you
9.
You better be damn sure. Like Dwayne Johnson reached out to the deadline about Black Adam was profitable. You think the previous execs aren't leaking information about or making crap up to try and, I don't know, they're bitter because they all got let go because Walter Hamada had his own plan. But then David Zaslav came in, and what did he do? His first couple of weeks, acts of Zaslav, right? Everyone says acts of Zaslav. He canceled Batgirl. He said, no, you can put Henry Cavill in this movie. Why not? And, here we are today. So we're going to find out soon enough. We're going to know in a month. I think that's when James Gunn said to the fans, in January, you will know more. And it's just a wait and see approach. But man, articles like this really just set film Twitter on fire. Like they really know how to get the fans, and some would say cultists, riled up and whatnot and shit. And my Twitter timeline is just literally like all this crap about, like, you have fans who want Zack Snyder to come back. Then you have fans who want, the cast to remain, and they're okay with Zack Snyder not being a part of it. And then you have the ones who wanted Batgirl, and then you had the ones who wanted Michael Keaton, and then you had the ones who wanted Ezra Miller out, replaced by Grant Gustin, and then you had never mind.
Wait, why are they arguing whether Black Adam was profitable or not? Like, they know how much marketing cost. They know how much the budget
because
was.
one side is saying there was profitable.
Because
and the other
$7
side saying
Productions
no.
and Dwayne Johnson is saying no. It was
It's a
profitable.
math. Math is empirical. It's inarguable.
Yeah,
They
but
can
the
just do
problem is
math.
we don't know who's telling the truth. That's the problem.
Okay, yeah.
The movie didn't make money. I can guarantee
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
No, the movie lost.
that's what I
money.
think.
I mean, Gio, we were there opening, or Brian, we were there opening night, Gio, and there was like 13 people in the theater.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
proud to be there, though. But like,
It was easy.
It was like one of the.
Oh,
most
Jacob, you were there
less
too, right? Were you
Yeah,
there,
I
Jacob?
was there. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
he
were
was
there.
Damn.
I was there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean,
Brian hated
Jesus
it. No, I'm just
Christ.
kidding.
I mean, what a mess. But I just, if we're talking I really hope that the cast is here to stay, and I'm including Ezra Miller in that. Okay, like
No.
if
I'm not.
he's been
No.
on. See, that's what I mean when I say
I don't
general-
want to like tell you that you're wrong, Gio, but I'm sorry.
No,
Like,
no,
what he has
that's your
done-
opinion. Yeah, that's
Like
your
what
opinion. It's
he
like-
has done, in my opinion, I think he needs to be shafted from Hollywood for a long time.
I just personally, I just don't like him as Flash. Like
I never liked him as Flash.
I'll let-
I never
Okay,
liked him
that's
as
fine.
Flash.
Yeah, maybe
like,
you wanted.
I'm not even
somebody
putting-
else's.
yeah, like I'm not even like comparing like what he's done outside of the world or outside of the movies versus movies. I've never personally cared for his portrayal of the Flash.
Sure.
I would like to see something different personally.
I personally think that he's probably already been fired.
Yeah,
I think
it's
he has
That's
a
what
big
you
job.
want. And that's
No, I mean it is what I want,
fine.
but
Yeah.
I don't think he deserves to have this type of role. Whether or not he's working on himself, the amount of times that he screwed up is not okay. It's not okay. And I don't want him in the role anymore. I don't. Like and I've said it multiple times on this channel, The Flash and Aquaman are my two favorite DC characters. Always have been. The Flash being my number one. And it really takes down my excitement seeing him in that role, especially now. It really does. And it's very,
That's
very
fair.
unfortunate.
That's
I
fair.
just want I
Um,
just want Green Lantern. Shut up.
I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the movie, it's a different Barry Allen too. But for most of the
love
movie,
that.
it's going to be.
But
For
if
most
like
of the movie, it's going to be double Ezra Miller. So just be ready.
what
for
if
that.
like all
That's
of a sudden
crazy.
like at the very end of the movie there's just like this like bright white light and just the whole universe like starts over. No one remembers who they are.
They brainwash us, the audience.
like
Well, we have to remember, the whole Flash paradox obviously is a reboot in itself. It's a very different look on everything. So
Mhm.
there's a huge possibility. I think Gio, you might have mentioned earlier that all of this is coming up now because right now in the DC timeline, that is the last movie that's been announced as far as in this current state of stuff. Blue Beetle is there, but how much does that actually connect? That comes out in August.
What is
Um,
what is the order that of the movies coming out next year?
it's
It's
Who's-
Shazam.
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 Is Shazam
Yeah,
first or
Shazam.
Aquaman?
Shazam. Aquaman's
Shazam.
December of 2023.
Aquaman's not
Aquaman's
until
the last
December.
Yeah, that's why I was
thought it
like,
was
whoa.
early.
They
Sorry, I
pushed
thought it
the
was early.
whole-
And
My
isn't
bad.
Shazam early, like February or something? Or no?
Yeah,
Shazam's got to be in
because it
March,
was
I
supposed to-
think.
I think
I think
Shazam's
Shazam's
March.
in March.
Oh, because
March.
So that means it's
come out
so
this
I'm
month.
wrong. The Flash isn't last. Then that means Aquaman is last. So it goes Shazam,
Mm.
Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman are the 4.
Interesting.
So it's a
Oh, Blue
it's-
Beetle's next year.
Yeah,
Blue Beetle's in August.
it's a
Ooh.
big
I
year.
can't wait for that movie.
It's a
Blue
very
Beetle's
interesting
crushed.
year.
I can't
Blue
wait.
It's gonna be
Beetle,
interesting,
yeah.
and I'm sure it's not the last time that we're gonna have this conversation. There's obviously a lot to talk about, and if our kind of instincts are right, we're gonna be hearing about it very, very soon. They're clearly working up a lot of plans. James Gunn has been very vocal and transparent with people on Twitter,
That's
which I think is very,
appreciate
very
that.
good. That comes from his director side and creativity side. There's a lot of executives that would not do that.
I
So,
wish Kevin Feige would do that.
Oh, and he is.
Yeah.
If he is.
It's too
shutting
mysterious
down
now, Jacob. It's too
scoopers.
I know.
mysterious.
He doesn't even have a Twitter, huh? Feige.
Yeah, he does.
Why would he?
He does.
Does he?
He does. Yeah.
Wow.
I know you guys.
Gio,
saw
you
that
must love
screenshot.
You must love
I
going
love
from
it.
going from WB who doesn't say crap, and then James Gunn literally just ripping new assholes left and
He
right.
is literally look. I know I say Insider Geo and all that, but I don't affiliate myself with these scoopers who literally pull shit out of their ass and just like, my source is this, my source is that, and it's like it's ridiculous. Okay, like, yeah, I get some of my stuff that I read on the internet, but I'm also like fantasy football, hence why I have 4 out of 4 playoffs. I look at
Oh my
trends.
gosh.
I actually watch interviews and read between the lines and
Jacob,
make my
he's
own.
calling you guys trash.
Basically.
Yeah, so it's fun to see. I can't wait to I can't wait to see James Gunn, take the stage at Comic-Con and DC Fandom, and if he does something in January, or makes a video or something, like he's the right guy from a creative standpoint to shepherd this soft reboot, and he's gonna do it at a reasonable cost. Look at the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and what he was able to do, making those movies for relatively small budgets. Maybe that's why Wonder Woman 3, part of the reason why it didn't go like, whoa, wait, you want what, 250 million? We can make a Wonder Woman movie for about 160 million tops, like, so we don't know. Nobody knows. Boris doesn't know. Sorry, Boris. Only those two for now. And
I thought he was
James
gonna
Gunn's
say only
gonna
I know.
keep. James Gunn is gonna keep, checking people, and we're all here for it. I've never seen so many comic book movie fans enjoy it, and that's a one win for DC.
All right, here's my last thing. Around the horn really fast. Does Henry Cavill stay as Superman?
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes.
Go.
Yes, cameos
know
for
the
the
answer.
for the foreseeable
Okay.
future, short appearances, maybe a Man of Steel 2 later on down the road.
Okay,
Exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Jake.
I'm
Gal
so
Gadot.
dumb.
Does she stay as Wonder Woman?
No.
Jacob.
100% yes.
Geo.
I got to make sure I mute it at the right time. Yes, we are going to be seeing her in.
Okay.
Okay.
Jason Momoa is Aquaman. Jake.
No.
I could see that one going away. I don't want it to, but I could see it.
Yes, he's going to stay.
What about
All
you,
right, keep
Brian?
going, keep
Superman,
going.
Wonder Woman, Aquaman.
I think yes, and no.
Okay. All right.
Batfleck.
Because I really don't care about it.
Batfleck is.
I want Flash to go away. I want a new Flash, personally.
Okay.
Okay, last one. Sorry, Black Adam. I forgot Black Adam. Black Adam, does he stay yes or no? Dwayne.
Yeah,
Johnson.
but not in his own movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
The character does, but I don't see a Black Adam
Warner
2 happening
Brothers-
anytime soon.
If they had an opportunity to keep Dwayne Johnson in the universe, they would be stupid not to keep him.
Yeah, as like a contributing character. But I just want to say, all in the game. I saw your question, yes. Basically, it's this. So, should they turn Jon Stewart GL show? Should be converted into a movie? I mean, I'm always down for a movie.
That movie or that show currently don't.
Yeah.
That could be in a little bit of a pause button there because James Gunn came out either yesterday or today, but he flat out said Green Lantern's a priority for us. So
Yeah.
Expect that to be Hal Jordan because we've only ever seen Hal Jordan once, and I'm sure they are going to want to fix that. So,
but we'll see Jon Stewart eventually.
Oh yeah,
eventually, but I don't know. We won't see him at least for the first or second time.
I'm gonna hit mute so I don't.
All right, everybody. We are going to wrap up the show tonight. Thank you, everyone who has been joining us. We appreciate you all, everyone in the chat, chatting it up tonight. It's been fun seeing all the comments on this. Obviously, a topic that brings out a lot of thoughts and feelings and opinions, and not just from us. We really, really appreciate it, everybody. Let's do some quick plugs around the horn before we head out. Quickly, Jacob, where can everyone find you online?
Yeah, on Twitter at JacobBarley824. And look, fantasy football's wrapping up. I mean, you might not want to listen to me because I didn't even make the playoffs in a few leagues. Look, I went 3 for 6. All right, when you take a lot of shots, you're gonna miss some. So, anyways, but come check out me and Gabe on First Round Fantasy. We do it every Wednesday evening.
Gio?
Wow. Thanks, guys. I feel like I just let out a lot of steam and just thoughts and whatnot. So this was fun. You can find me on Twitter at Insider Geo. Find me on here a lot. Okay, that's a promise. And my channel, Fandom United. This makes me want to go live and continue the conversation tomorrow.
Just go straight to another stream.
No, tomorrow. But I just,
man.
Oh, yeah. So there you go.
Brian?
I almost said Apocaflix movies. Certain point of view with Jake. Be of all seen on Twitter and Instagram. This is fun. This is a good conversation.
Because everyone was involved. It was nice. And it was very just fluid between the four of us. Luckily, Keith would have thrown it all off. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Keith would have had my back.
At Qui-Gon Jake, 2 N's because someone else took it before I did. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you want to follow me there, doing some fun things over there. Apocaflix movies on the weekly basis here on Tuesdays at 7:00 Pacific. Obviously, no Mandalorian Club or Marvel Rewind right now, but that changes in early January as the Bad Batch returns. And then you're going to see a lot more separate videos, guys, from us as far as new stuff and trailer reactions and
stuff.
Also, our end of the year videos are coming. We are going to be doing our most anticipated of 2023, as well as our top of 2022 videos very, very soon. You're going to hear more about that here in just a little while, so stay tuned. But for now, thank you guys for joining us, as always, on Apocaflix Now. We really enjoy it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We won't be on until next week. At least I think. Pretty sure.
Out of theater reaction.
Out of theater. Oh, yeah. We'll be doing an out of theater reaction for Avatar. That is correct. So if you're going to watch Avatar, hopefully you enjoy yourselves. You'll see a quick review from us before next week, talking about it on the show with a full breakdown. So for the whole crew here, thank you again. And we'll
Discord.